Yes. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for a video on cryptocurrency every single day. My name's Austin, and team, we need to talk. Today, I want to have a very open and frank discussion on Bitcoin and the altcoin market, because whether we know it or not, guys, the crypto community is at a little bit of an impasse. Bitcoin down over 5% in the last 24 hours. Again, it seems like we're hearing news that money is leaving Bitcoin daily now, it seems. And of course, these altcoins are dipping harder, down 10%, down 11%. And this is illustrated in no better example than for the first time in a long time, Bitcoin dominance has regained over 50% dominance in the market. And me personally, I remember a few months ago where Bitcoin dominance was about 1/3. Now it's half the market. So what's this mean? It means that while Bitcoin is pretty much at/near its all-time lows for the year, it's now 50% of the market. So while Bitcoin loses money, these altcoins are massively losing money. And there are a lot of people out there that are seriously considering selling their Bitcoin. This may shock a lot of you guys, because I know a lot of us at this channel, I talk to you guys in the comments. We have great discussions down there. We're crypto bulls. We are crypto kings. And yes, some days we may be a little tribal about what altcoin we like. We fundamentally believe that cryptocurrency, because of the technology behind it, is going to make the future better, and it's here to stay. Well, let me just remind you guys that less than 1% of the world's population even knows about cryptocurrency. A little bit more than 1% in, big countries like the US, England, Australia, but less than 1% of the world's population even knows about crypto. And there are a lot of people out there that are seriously considering cutting their losses. So I'm not a financial advisor. Make your own decisions. But I want to share with you guys an article, an opinion piece about don't be a crypto weak hand. That's what they want. I want to show you guys some charts about where we are in the crypto market and just put this in perspective. That's why you guys subscribe to the channel, for this perspective. So if you guys like when we talk about the crypto market in these broader terms, then you are going to like this video. But let's get into it. This is an article from Siam Kid. I'm going to leave a link to this article and his Twitter in the description below. Check him out. But this is my opinion right now. The whole crypto investor market is currently massively overreacting to this SEC ETF delay, and in general, losing their shit right now. And yeah, that was pretty much the catalyst of this big market dip. The SEC, not even denied, just delayed the ETF decision. And I've said this for over a year now, that in order for a proper mooning to begin, a few jigsaw pieces need to be put in place. So for the market to receive its proper big bull run, a few of these puzzle pieces need to be in place. What are they? There are 4 of them. Number 1, Wall Street, or just generally institutional money and whales, need to get involved, and that major banks will have to start buying into crypto exchanges so they have data/information feeds. Well, if you subscribe to this channel, we talk about it all the time in daily crypto news, that more and more institutional money are sniffing around, buying into the market. That one's done, and / is still being done. And what's number 2? Well, before Wall Street enters a new market like this emerging crypto market, just like many commodity markets in the past, first they have to create a futures market. Historically, this has always been done because this way they can manipulate and suppress the price of cryptos without owning any cryptos. Well, this is done. Last year, the futures market came into play. Number 3, Wall Street will need custodial services because they really don't want to mess with all the wallets and private keys and risk of being hacked. So they will want to store it somewhere fully insured. Well, we've seen this. Places like Coinbase offering custodial services for big money to feel safer and get around some of those barriers to entry to enter the market. Well, number 3 out of 4 is done. What's number 4? Well, number 4, Wall Street will then bring about the first Bitcoin ETF so that hedge funds can play with the crypto space without actually buying any cryptos. Well, this is almost done. As you know, a lot of ETFs have been put up for approval/disapproval for the SEC, and we're waiting. The big one's going to come again in 45 days. There are others out there that are going to be approved or disapproved by the SEC by the end of the year. So we got 3 out of 4, almost 4. And guys, the thing to remember here is that when a Bitcoin ETF is finally passed, that ETF company will have to actually go out and buy billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And they're going to have to store it somewhere. And these boys or girls, they won't just buy it at market price. They are going to drive the price down so they will get more Bitcoin for their buck. And team, is that what we're seeing right now? We are so close for this Bitcoin ETF to be approved, which will bring in that institutional money. I agree with Siam. They do not want to pay anything but the lowest price that Bitcoin can go. And they will want to shake the weak hands out of the market first. So I'm not surprised that we're having all these last-minute tree shaking, as they are just trying to scare away all the weak hands. Those currently pulling their hair out, checking CoinMarketCap every 10 minutes, and questioning whether cryptos will ever be back to all-time highs. Guys, trust me, don't be a weak hand. These big boys control the media message and flow, and being sucker punched into selling your cryptos is exactly what they want to do to you. All of the pieces are almost all in place now for the next fractal surge up, the next bull run. The second the Bitcoin ETF is approved, I bet my bottom Neo that the Ethereum ETF won't be far behind. So if Bitcoin gets approved, Ethereum was soon to be traded next. And then the options market won't be far behind that. And if all those things get approved, that will attract more traders. That's going to bring in the money. Then the derivatives floodgates won't be far behind them. And that's when we're going to get leverage. Now, what's leverage? Well, after a couple years of easy public accessibility, when the public is then easily able to access crypto, leverage, that is when you need. So once that happens, when we get that leverage, that is when you need to start worrying about getting out of cryptos. So right now, when these big whales are trying to drive the prices low so they can buy in cheap, that's not when you need to start worrying about selling your Bitcoin. It's after the public can easily get in we need to start thinking about, okay, is it time to sell our cryptos? By then, you're going to know when that is, because by then, your pension fund will have no doubt have a small crypto allocation, in this guy's opinion. And this is a major reason why we are nowhere near the peak bubble. We're nowhere near it. And let's put this in perspective to the big bubble that bursts in 2008 for the housing market and the banks. Well, in 2007, get this, guys, the average stripper in Florida owned 7 apartments. That's how easy it was for the common working girl to buy a house, to get a loan. That's how silly leverage got in the housing market. Right now, I doubt even 1% of the strippers own any cryptos. Do you guys know any strippers that take cryptocurrency? Let me know in the comments, exact addresses. Just kidding. But don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware that most participants in this market right now are in pain. So yes, it's painful when you see 60 to 90% of our portfolios down. But let's think about why we got into cryptocurrency in the first place. And again, stick with me, guys, because by the end of this, I'm going to show you these charts, compare this to other things like refrigerators and microwaves and the internet, compare that to cryptocurrency, and compare Bitcoin dominance. But let me just quickly remind you guys why we're in this market for the right reasons. So you're in cryptos, you need to be in it for the right reasons. Number one, you're in it for the short/medium term/long term until the proper bubble pops. when the public comes rushing in masses. This won't happen until the early majority. This won't happen until the early majority of the adoption cycle comes in. So I've pulled this adoption cycle, and according to Siam, you do not need to worry about selling your cryptocurrency until we're right here, till the early majority comes in. It would be too late to sell it when the late majority comes in. And guys, that's not to say we're going to wait till the masses, the common man comes in, and then we're going to short them, we're going to sell. But we do not want to get left behind, and this is just this happens to people. We're smart investors, we're smart money. Right now, we're right around here, I think. Early adopters, the innovators getting in the market. I'd say more of the innovators, because we have yet to see the early institutional money come in. It's right around here that we want to start thinking about selling, getting out of the market, getting a large portion of our funds out of the market. Well, number two, you're in cryptos with more than risk capital. That means you won't lose your shit or feel suicidal when the market does its annual 30 to 70% of its drawdown. Do not invest any money that you're not willing to lose. We know the market's volatile. Number three, very important, you're informed. You know that it's going to be extremely erratic. It's going to be a very erratic market for at least the next 10 years. You stay informed by going on the web, subscribing to the channel, just checking out news sites that you guys want to hear. And just shameless plug, we drop a video every single day, so if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. We're one way to stay informed. And then the last reason, being informed, you can retain the big picture, which is all of the above. And that whether you got into Bitcoin at 19K or 10K, or you're just getting into it now, it will be relatively insignificant compared to the sheer potential Bitcoin and the rest of the market could grow to. Check this out, guys. Amazon is now at 19,000 per share. I'm pretty sure that if you bought into Amazon, whether it was $20 or $50 or hell, even $200, you would consider it a big win because you believed in Amazon, like you believe in crypto. All right, team. Before we get into the charts, me and Siam, I hope this helped. Just my 2 cents, and I personally feel that there are blindly bright times ahead of us. But you need to ensure that you adopt a good crypto mindset, and also, very important, you frequent your local strip club to maintain your cutting-edge market research on public adoption. LOL. Great job, Siam. I like the information you provide. I'm going to give you a follow. Last thing, let's check this out, guys. This is a chart I found. Consumption spreads fast today. This was on Reddit. Less than 5% of the people in the Western world, so just the Western world, not the whole world, have Bitcoin. People talk about it, but they don't understand or use it yet. This is only the beginning. And if we zoom in on this chart, you can see this. This is 1900, 1915, 1975, the 70s, when the microwave was invented. And this is the 90s. And this was the internet, which really came into fruition in the early 90s. And right now, according to, this is just a brief, guess. These aren't exact numbers, but we are right here in the early phases of the internet. That's how early we are in cryptocurrency. We hear this all the time. And in terms of historically, I want to show you guys something. This is Bitcoin dominance and altcoin dominance right now. This is where we are right now. As you can see, Bitcoin is getting higher and higher dominance. Well, if we just zoom out a little bit to 2017, where we saw the massive bull run, we can see that massive bull run happened around here. And as we can see, as we got later and later in the year, August, September, yes, Bitcoin got to over 50% dominance, and people back then thought altcoins were on its way out. Well, as we all know, back when the bull run struck, Bitcoin, gained a lot more money influx into Bitcoin, yet it lost a lot of its dominance, and the altcoin season happened. So guys, historically, do not sell your Bitcoin yet. It is not the right time. Maybe wait until early majority gets in. Anyway, team, I hope you got some value out of this video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and again, feel free to give it a like. My name's Austin. This is Altcoin Daily. We'll see you tomorrow.